Hi, this is Dr. Richard Ruhling here to share with you on the topic of what's the good news. Where do we find it? How do we get there? And these are questions for Adventists and actually all Christians who are in danger of Gospel-Lite, a trimmed version that says Jesus is going to save me when they really don't have time to read what he said or understand how it will be. Didn't God say that he will do nothing without revealing it in Amos 3:7? But not 1 in 20 know the next verse of how we get there. The next verse says, "The lion has roared. Who will not fear?" And what's this really about? Christ is the Lion of Judah in Revelation 5:5. But when will he roar? Christ answers this when he says, "When you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, know that its desolation is nigh." That's Luke 21:20. Christ was citing Zechariah 14th chapter at that time. First verses say, "The day of the Lord comes, and nations will be gathered against Jerusalem to battle. Those nations will attack Jerusalem, and the city will be taken, the houses rifled, women raped, half the city goes into captivity. Muslims are going to celebrate their mosque and Quran that says Allah has no son. But suddenly the Lord is going to roar from Jerusalem. The heavens and earth will shake." That's Joel 3:16. Is it speculation that they're going to do that, that's going to happen when they celebrate their mosque? I think maybe. It's my speculation. But God gave an earthquake to initiate the day of the Lord. Actually, the day of the Lord is the end time expression of night of the Lord in Egypt in Exodus 12 verse 42. When he executed judgment, verse 12, God took Israel to a covenant at Sinai, and the mountain shook at Pentecost, 50 days after Egypt's Passover. When Israel accepted the covenant, they became God's kingdom in Exodus 19:5 and 6, and he later said, "Return to me, I'm married to you." Well, when did they get married? He must be regarding the covenant as a marriage relationship in some way. God declares the end from the beginning in Isaiah 46:10, and what is to come has been already, according to Ecclesiastes 3:15 in the New English Bible. God summons each event back in its turn, and that which God purposed to do for the world through Israel. This is a quote from my favorite author, Ellen White. He will finally accomplish through his church on earth today, even his covenant-keeping people. And to them will be fulfilled all the covenant promises made by Jehovah to that ancient people. That's Prophets and Kings, page 713 and 14. But the quote is actually from Ellen White's last book. That's the last book she wrote, and she didn't title it Prophets and Kings. She called it The Captivity and Restoration of Israel. That's what's written in the front page of my mother's book from 1917. And God said he would make a full end of all other nations. In that same, this is taken from Jeremiah 30, verse 3, but in verse 11 says God will make a full end of all nations, and it's in the latter day, verse 24. The next verse is the New Covenant chapter, where we have to be ready to meet Christ in the sky, and won't be unless we have the New Covenant written in our hearts. We would start trouble all over again in heaven if we don't have that New Covenant. But notice the overlooked context that we never hear about in church. "I will bring you from the north." That was Babylon in Ezekiel 26, verse 7, comes from the north. "And gather them from the coasts of the earth." Jeremiah 31, verse 8. God is going to repeat the Exodus, and he will make a highway for the remnant. That's Isaiah 11:11. That's easy to remember. And verse 16. He will make a full end of all other nations. That's Jeremiah 30, verse 11. "No man knows the day or hour, but as the days of Noah." And the flood had Passover timing in the second spring month. It was a 9/11 provision. When in Numbers 9, verse 10 and 11, it provided for Passover a month later for certain reasons, including the days of Noah. Counting from Passover in May using lunar calendar, and by the way, there's a YouTube link I'm going to post below, that comes to Pentecost in July 16 this year. Okay, that's just next week. And if we see something huge, take another look at this video, okay? Because it might, but I really believe the main deal is next year, 2025. I've been premature in my thinking it would happen this year. We've seen the start of it with basically Hamas and what's building and escalating. But as Ellen White says, the whole Jewish economy is full of instruction for us. Its ceremonies were designed to teach the people that at the time appointed, one would come to whom those ceremonies pointed. And we're talking about the wedding, you know. And Luke 12, be ready when I come and knock that you open immediately. The wedding parables, that's coming for the wedding basically, the wedding parables are not about a rapture and a quick snatch to heaven. It's about a relationship we have in the end time like Israel had starting at Sinai when they became his kingdom. Please visit my website also, Health, Happiness, and Destiny, because it has a book, The Earthquake and Seven Seals, that will help you to know how you can be ready for the earthquake that will be coming to initiate the end times. Not a Sunday law. That's the third angel's message. We need, as Ellen White said in Counsels to Writers and Editors, page 26 and 27, the first and second angel's message were given in 1843 and 44. We're now in the midst of the third, but all three messages are still to be given. We're to show the order and application that bring us to the third. The earthquake will initiate a time of judgment. Ellen White saw it at Loma Linda when it seemed the judgment day had come. Okay, that's 9 Testimony, page 92, 93. Take a look and take a deep breath, because it might knock your wind out. And like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends. God bless you, and we'll talk again another time. Thank you so much, and I'll try to shut this off. And here we are.